President Biden has unveiled his new plans for the U.S. economy.
During a speech in Chicago, he touted growing the economy by focusing on expanding the middle class. Mr. Biden has faced skepticism from the American public over his economic record. High levels of inflation, accompanied by multiple interest rate hikes, have cost him some support. But the president said his strategy is working. He claims the U.S. has made tremendous progress since 2020.
When I took office, the pandemic was raging and our economy was reeling. Supply chains were broken, millions of people unemployed, hundreds of thousands of small businesses on the verge of closing after so many had already closed, literally hundreds of thousands on the verge of closing. Today, the U.S. has the highest economic growth rate leading the world economies since the pandemic, the highest in the world.
CBS News White House reporter Bo Erickson joins us now from Chicago, where the president was speaking. Bo, what are the biggest takeaways from President Biden's unveiled plan?
In his speech, he said that he's been telling unions that they need to brag more about their good work that they do all throughout the country. And it really seemed like that's what he was trying to do about his own work in the speech today in Chicago. He said in the speech that he was not here to declare victory for the economy and that they had more work to do, but he wanted to note and kind of bring all the economic messages of the White House together in what they're calling and branding Bidenomics, which he says is really focused on the middle class. He touted some wins and some numbers here. He's really focusing on the low unemployment rate, around 4%, and also the 13 million jobs that have been added during his presidency. And he really stressed today that those jobs were really helping women workers, African-American workers, and Hispanic workers. And he said he was proud of that.
And Bo, how is President Biden hoping to appeal to voters with this new economic agenda? We know through CBS News polling that is high on voters' lists.
Yes, there is. It seems to be a disconnect between a lot of Americans, about 63% of Americans, who say the economy is not doing well right now. And what the White House is saying and what the president is saying is that the plans that they've implemented, like the bipartisan infrastructure law that encapsulates 35,000 infrastructure updates all throughout the country, that's bridges, roads, that it takes a little while for those to get shovels in the ground. And the president said that now Americans all throughout the country will start seeing those projects together. Actually, a congressman joked that people better get ready for detours coming up, and they hope that those infrastructure updates will kind of boost their numbers there. But as was noted in the intro as well, the president has more work to do. That's what he said. Specifically when it comes to inflation, their grocery prices are up about 7% since last year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And how the president said he was going to address those pocketbook issues is trying to bring down prices of some other goods. Like he talked about bringing down the price of insulin, and he talked about going after junk fees from companies, those pesky secret charges that a lot of us get when shopping online. And he says by trying to go after those specific costs that they can kind of bring down the pressure on inflation altogether.
So, Bo, in those two examples that you listed, bringing down the cost of insulin, junk fees, we've heard from President Biden about both of these things before. And in fact, much of his speech seemed to be a repetition of what the president has said before. In what ways is this actually a new plan?
That's exactly right. He's kind of bringing together all the White House messaging, and he's kind of taking it on the road right now. It seems, to be honest, they're really just trying to goad Republicans into kind of trying to strike some contrast with them under this Bidenomics big umbrella plan that they have. In fact, the former president, President Trump, during the speech released a statement and said Bidenomics is the opposite of his economy. And there's many people in the White House who will gladly accept that. The president also took time to make this a more political speech and said that what he's doing in his administration right now, and definitely in the future, will be different with how Senate Republicans and House Republicans and many candidates on the campaign trail in the Republican field, how they will address the economy, because he says they're focused on really comforting the wealthy throughout the country.
Okay. Bo Erickson, thank you.